All right, so first of all, we're going to do what we're here for. So we're going to talk about the nervous system. All right, so in particular, we're going to talk about the autonomic nervous system. So that's the part of the nervous system that runs automatically in the background. It's the reason your heart's beating right now. It's the reason you breathe all the time. It's the reason your body just keeps on going. So this might be a little bit more scientific than the rest of it. It's a bit less hands-on, but I'm trying to make it a bit fun here for you guys because it's important that you know this, because knowing how our body works is the best way to be able to work out how we can best go forward in situations where our body is either making it hard or easy on us. Okay, so the first bit is the sympathetic nervous system. So that's the part of the nervous system that gets your body ready for intense activity. It's the fight or flight, which you may or may not have heard of before, but that's okay. We're going to go into it a bit further later. All right, the next part is the parasympathetic nervous system. So this part relaxes your body. It slows down all those high energy functions that you had in the sympathetic nervous system, such as your heart rate or your breathing. And it's known as the rest and digest mode. It's where your body heals itself. Now, both of these are very important from an evolutionary perspective and even to this day. But what's important is that we're able to balance that and we're able to get our bodies into a state that really nourishes ourselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys an example of both of these nervous systems and how they play into our daily lives. Well, hopefully this next example is not going to be in your daily life anytime soon, but it's a bit of an exaggerated example for you guys so you get to know what's going on. All right, so you guys are going to have to use your imaginations. And we're here in the beautiful Blue Mountains, so that's where I've set this scenario. So imagine you're in the bush, enjoying a lovely walk out of nature here in the Blue Mountains. Does anyone have a favourite spot that they like to walk in the Blue Mountains? All right, you like to walk in the Jamison Valley. Okay, lovely. Okay, we'll use that as an example. All right. So you're out in the Jamison Valley. It's pretty cold, but it's beautiful out. You hear all the beautiful bird noises. You're really enjoying yourself. You're walking along a track, looking out at all the beautiful flowers around you, and oh, the bush is so beautiful. Then all of a sudden, up in the tree, you see a drop bear! In a fraction of a second, the brain recognises that this hideously ferocious creature towering over you classifies as a threat. All of a sudden, the following things will likely happen. You'll get an increased heart rate. This will send more oxygen and nutrients to your muscle, to your brain, to your extremities, preparing your body for imminent action, i.e. fighting or flighting. You've got to do something with this threat. The next thing is your liver will be stimulated to release glucose. This provides more energy to power your muscles in case it's needed because you think you might have to run fast or fight hard. All right. The next thing that will happen is your lung bronchioles will be dilated. So this will allow more oxygen into the lungs, which will further oxygenate your blood to keep up with the increased heart rate. Your pupils will dilate. Your digestion is inhibited. Your body thinks it's in a state of threat, so it's not going to waste its energy digesting your food and absorbing nutrients. It's more worried about survival. Number 6, the adrenal glands are stimulated to excrete epinephrine and norepinephrine. Now, interestingly, these chemicals have a very similar response to the sympathetic nervous system itself. But the difference is that these are more prolonged. So even after you've had that nervous reaction, these chemicals will continue the different things such as increased heart rate, glucose release by the liver, the lung dilation. All of this is going to be prolonged in your body by these hormones. So it's important to remember this one for later. So because of these things, your body has that burst of energy it needs and you run to safety. All the way back up, all the way to the car park. And you check for signs of danger. You are on high alert. Your heart is pumping fast. And you look around and you realise there's no danger. You just remember the drop bears aren't even real and they're only a myth we tell unwitting tourists. It must have been a koala. What a missed photo opportunity. Anyway, you decide that now you're safe you're going to go and relax. You find a lovely rock to sit down on overlooking the valley. You take in the breathtaking view. You think life is good. Then your body starts to switch into the parasympathetic state. So in this state, your heart rate decreases. This means your body can start conserving energy. Your liver starts producing bile instead of glucose. So the important thing about this bile is that it actually helps to detox your body, get rid of all the nasty toxins from your body, which is super important. The bronchioles in your lungs are constricted because your body doesn't need all the excess oxygen anymore. You're not running anywhere. You're sitting down on this beautiful rock, looking out at all the beauty that nature has in front of you. Your pupils, they're going to constrict back to normal size. You're not going to look like a deer in the headlights anymore. The adrenal gland, it stops secreting epinephrine and norepinephrine. So your body can start to rest, relax, recover. Cell generation can start happening and you're going to start feeling calmer and more content. And lastly, well, actually there's quite a few more things that will happen, but these are the main ones we're going to talk about today. So your digestion is going to be stimulated. So this is important for both maintaining a healthy weight and for absorbing the nutrients your bodies need. So without a stimulated digestive system, we're going to struggle to have the proper energy levels that we need throughout the day, just to keep going on with our daily life properly and to the best of our abilities. So the thing about the autonomic nervous system is that even though evolutionary, it started as a way to respond to immediate physical danger, the part of our brain called the amygdala, which is sort of halfway through and in the middle, it's contributed to eliciting this response in less dramatic situations as well. So there are many different things that can cause us to be, anxious or fearful. So I'm going to get you to use your imagination again. It's not as exciting this one, sorry. So imagine one day you are late for work. Your boss pulls you into his office and he starts having a go at you. He's yelling, he's demeaning you. So your amygdala is likely to start sensing threat all of a sudden. Alarm bells, ringing in your head. Then your body fills with stress hormones. You are going into the sympathetic state. Your heart rate's increasing. Your breathing becomes fast and shallow. It might not be as noticeably so as when you're being chased by that drop bear. Your pupils will dilate. You will feel uneasy. This is your stress response. This is your sympathetic nervous system kicking in. Until you can calm yourself down, your body isn't focused on resting and recovering. It isn't focused on digesting. It isn't focused on detoxing. It isn't focused on absorbing nutrients or repairing cells. It is focused on survival. So, it might seem like a rare occasion that your boss brings you into the office and starts yelling at you. If it's not, you probably need a new job. But the funny thing about the nervous system is that it holds memory. The next time you have any inkling that you'll upset your boss, your body will prepare itself by eliciting that stress response. This is what's known as a trigger. So evolutionarily, it is your body's way of protecting you. However, if it is something that happens consistently and you don't have the tools to stop and return your body to a parasympathetic state, it can lead to a number of different health problems, including, but not limited to, heart issues, lowered immune system. So you might notice yourself getting sick more often and more frequently, and it might feel worse than it normally feels. You might notice mouth ulcers. That's a big one that people notice. You might notice a lack of energy or disrupted sleep. You might find yourself gaining weight or even losing weight. You might overall just feel not yourself. You might have stiff muscles and body pain. And there's so many other issues that this can cause. So why we're here today is I want to teach you the tools so that as soon as your body gets itself into a sympathetic state and you realize I don't need to be in this sympathetic state, I'm not running from a bear, I'm not running from, a snake or anything, I should bring my body back to that sympathetic state so it can rest, it can recover, it can heal, it can detox toxins, it can do all those things that your body needs to do. Because a lot of us, especially in this fast-paced society, this post-COVID world, this technological society, we're just constantly constantly being bombarded with stresses. And our body is just constantly in this sympathetic nervous state. And it can cause so many problems, like I referenced before. So what I'm trying to do is teach you how to get back out of that sympathetic state into the parasympathetic state as soon as you realize that you have been triggered. And not only that, I'd like to help you realize your triggers so that you can avoid them when necessary or confront them so that they no longer become triggers. But ultimately, I want you to get in touch with your body, and I want to help you guys recognize and overcome the barriers that our nervous system puts on us.